Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bottom Line with Roni and Byron. We have a lot of news to get to you this week. We're going to start with my dismissal from WJAQ.
And in national news, we'll talk about how an Amazon driver who was fired after a video of a woman leaving his van went viral, and he speaks out.
And then we'll switch to some sports. We'll cover high school football as well as some volleyball. The local team, their quest to the state championship. And then our relationship tea topic this week is how much time do you and your significant other need for us time? And we'll get to it right now, Byron. So let's go ahead and get it out in front of everybody. And everybody's been wondering what happened to me on WJAQ, the local radio station. Well, Byron, I was dismissed on Saturday. Apparently the staff knew on Friday, but I found out on Saturday haphazardly. But the bottom line is I was told by the station manager that there were some complaints about me not covering enough of local news. And then it switched to me only covering Mariana. And then it switched to my pronunciation. And then the last thing, he talked about me having this show. So Byron, it kind of, flip-flop from one excuse to the other. But I did talk to the owner on Monday night, and he basically told me it was a financial decision because the station is having some serious financial trouble. So Byron, the truth is somewhere in between.
That or the truth didn't lie in anything they gave you as an option. I'll be the first to say that what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. What goes around comes around. That's not true. Just a biblical term, but it's a scientific as well, because for every action is an equal and opposite what? Reaction.
That's right.
So when people do these things and they make these decisions, understand that may not be in the same realm of consequence that you'll receive, but when you catch them, you know what. Don't wonder where it come from.
That's right.
If people, like I said, my mom always told me what's right was yours is yours, and what's right for you and what's for you is for you. And I live by that and I stand by that. But I'm a fighter. You're a fighter just like me. We may have opposing views a lot of times, but we hence what brought about this show. There's always a bottom line there. You're gonna have two stories and you're gonna have two sides, but life is not black and white, it's shades of gray. I don't approve of nor do I condone this type of action. If you're gonna be a man, you be a man and stand behind your decision. Don't give somebody some flim-flam. They didn't want you on the show, they didn't want you on the show. But that's fine because it's opened up a brand new door and a limitless possibility. So you've been very careful in our production and a lot of things we've done. You've been very careful and very matter of fact and very particular about not crossing the stream, so to speak. I know I'm using a Ghostbuster reference, but you've been very careful about that. And to see that hard work get kind of slapped in the face, hey, it is what it is. But for those conspirers, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but just know that you just woken a sleeping giant.
That's right.
We've got a great platform here, and people are a steady pace are following us. And we're giving good information to our community and to the people in our area. So for those that are supporting us, please continue to scream and shout and tell people to watch the station, to support us, because we're giving good content here. We're giving context. We're letting you know. We're giving you the insight to the information that you're not privy to. And because our people are working people, our people are busy people, we're trying to reach them in the most the most fundamental way possible. We know people are down those timelines, so we're trying to reach it. And I say continue. I'm with you 100%. And we got to show people that no matter what, just because you don't agree with somebody's political views or even the way that they feel the county or the community should go, there's no reason why you should try to stipend them.
Right.
Understand different people's point of views, and maybe that'll give you a better step in moving forward. But to take tactics, it's not going to work.
Not cool.
You got to be in line with God, and if you're not in line with what's right, trust me, you're never going to win.
That's right. Well, as I told the station manager, it's everybody has an answer for their actions, and we reap what we sow. So but I've gotten a lot of calls, a lot, text messages, inquiring about why I'm not on the air. So I just kind of want to take this time to let everybody know, what happened, and the reasons that were given to me from two different people, the station manager as well as the owner. And you guys can kind of draw your own conclusions as to what the real reason is. So we'll leave it at that. But I do want to thank everybody. Thank you for your support. I was on the air for about 5 months and got nothing but positive feedback. Got love and support, and I really want to thank you guys for listening to me every morning and just basically encouraging me and really just supporting me. So you may not hear my voice anymore on that station. However, I'm sure my voice will be back on the radio at some point on another station. So thank you again, and thank you, Byron, for your support.
Hey, we argue a lot, but it's cool. That ain't got nothing to do with how we move forward, because at the end of the day, it's about unity. If we pulling and we tugging, we still moving forward. We're not going backwards, and that's the whole point. So let that be a life lesson for those that want to hold things back or get in their little feelings. But I think this is probably the best move, because now we have a platform that we control. We control the narrative. Right. We control what information gets put out, and I think that's a better way to move and a way to operate. So hey, I think they just, like I said, I think they just opened another door, opened a chapter that we didn't even imagine about. And so hey, let's keep moving.
So the news will continue to get to you on this platform. Byron and I will continue to bring you all the latest and the updates and the truth of what's going on in Jackson County and around the area. So there we go. So Byron, I do want to take this time and say the local and state news is brought to you by Brightway Insurance. Brightway Insurance is located at 2867 Caledonia Street in Marietta. You should check out TD Horn and his staff for property insurance, life insurance, business insurance, any type of insurance that you may need. Just give them a call at 850-633-3406, 850-633-3460. And that's TD Horn at Brightway Insurance. All right, I'm going to move to our next story, which is the Tourist Development Council here in Jackson County is basically seeing some upswing, Byron. They are on record to break, some records as far as visitors, coming here to Jackson County. I think the stats are, this is their 5th straight record year, and they've had about 1.2 million people to visit in 2019, and they are already, surpassing that now, and we still have 2 more months left. So the TDC is really, doing well. They went before the county commissioners on Tuesday night and gave them information. I think they talked about their bed tax is like 90%. I think it's 90% above last year's collections, Byron. So that's pretty good. And if people don't know what bed tax is, that's basically the tax that comes from the hotels in the county. So it says it's 90% higher than it was last year. What do you think about that?
I think that would have been a better option to mess around if they had the ability than gas. but
to increase the bed tax.
Yeah, that's a little stab there. But yeah, I love it. I've been I know with the Emancipation Day Festival, it hit off, and I just want to point out, in the midst of a pandemic coming out of one, we had a great turnout. Looking forward to building on that tourism and bringing it even larger next FY. So I've been working with Miss Anderson, and yes, we've got some plans for some really big things. It's great to see that those numbers are coming in, and which reminds me, those that may want to get, just throwing something out there. This is just Byron and how his mind works. When you're talking about investments, maybe stocks and things like that. Airbnbs, Verbos, things like companies like that. I think tourism is going to really rise within this next year, because COVID vaccines out. Last year was kind of like everybody expected it to be the big surge. I think it's gonna come around. I think a lot of people are going to be willing to not just go to the typical tourism spots, even in Florida. Yeah, I think they're gonna come to places. Yeah, so look for Jackson County to be one of those places to benefit. People even going to the beach and going to Panama City. A lot of times, folks want to kind of venture off and find out some. Yeah. So
well, it's funny you said that. I actually had a chance to talk to Christy Andreessen, the executive director for the Tourist Development Council, and this is what she told me.
The biggest thing that's attracting tourists right now, especially post-COVID, is the fact that we have a smaller destination. We're more rural. We've got off the beaten path kind of things, and we have a lot of nature-based tourism. So our ecotourism, even the agritourism, things that are outside for people to do. But our historical and our cultural tourism have also seen an increase because people are just wanting to get out, explore more, and learn about the areas that are around them. So we're pretty hopeful for the future in tourism for Jackson County. And as always, we are super thankful for our county commissioners and county administrator for being champions of tourism.
Wow.
So Byron, as you mentioned, I mean, she mentioned it too, that, people are looking for something different off the beaten path to do. And Jackson County is sitting right here. So, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So why the revenue is increasing. And so that's a good thing for the county. Very good.
Yeah. So for a lot of people out there, if you got some, plans or aspirations to bringing something that adds to the culture and the identity of Jackson County, and host an event or do something different, I think this will be the time to break out and really get something going.
She actually, I don't know if anybody knows this, but there's supposed to be a museum. There will be a museum housed on the old Dozier property, which is now Endeavor. And so that museum is supposed to encompass various pieces of the county, history, whether it's in Greenwood, Springfield. So if you guys have not reached out to Christy Andreessen or Linda Franklin, the president of NAACP, they are basically compiling information from all, entities of the county to basically bring all the history so they can put into the museum. And that's going to be a big draw as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And another thing, she said that they were going to use the increase in the revenue from TDC to basically, improve some of the existing attractions that we have here in Jackson County. So, all right. And then I'm going to move on to some state news. Byron, do you know about In-N-Out, that burger joint that's out west in California, my favorite burger place?
Yes. So a few times being in 29 Palms, as a Marine, as an Army soldier, being in a couple of schools and things of that such, I've had the pleasure of going and having some In-N-Out. Matter of fact, my nephew, he took me to an In-N-Out, so he was like, that was his spot. So yeah. In-N-Out.
Let me tell you, our governor had a call with the president of In-N-Out, and they're on Monday, just this week, and they're trying to get an In-N-Out burger in Florida. He and Jimmy Petronas, our chief financial officer for the state of Florida, they're really pitching, to this owner to try to bring an In-N-Out burger to Florida. And the reason being is because, they're in California and they've had to close some of the actual burger joints because they will not mandate vaccinations for their customers. And it looks like California is wanting them to do so. And so I guess they're looking to relocate. Now, I'll tell you, they have the best burgers and fries. You can't leave those out. It's both. They're the best burgers and fries. So if that comes here, I hope it's somewhere close, but my mind tend to think it's going to be somewhere probably in South Florida if it happens, not Northwest Florida.
Oh, come on. That fry statement, that's a pretty bold statement. Pretty bold statement. But hey, I know it's gonna be a fight. Now Jimmy Petronas, he can't he can't lobby, he can't fight for it to come to Florida, not bring to Northwest Florida. Like, come on.
You would think,
he got to get one at least in Panama City or something. But yeah, hey, let the strategies and let the the talks begin. Hopefully that'll happen. Yeah. One person's loss is another person's treasure, I guess you'd call it. Win.
Yeah, I kind of hate that because like I said, it's a huge thing out in California, especially LA. Like it's it's where everybody goes. But the Associated Press reports that several counties in Northern California require restaurants to verify customers' vaccination status, and if they are not vaccinated, then they can't come into the restaurant. So there lies the problem of why they are looking to possibly relocate. So we'll see. I don't know.
And as another thing I wonder as well, how long do they intend that to last? Because as time progresses, vaccines, I would assume would more and more people would get vaccinated. Some cases would begin to go down regardless. So I wonder how long do they plan for that to happen? Now, would you want to lose an entire franchise like that for something that may last a year or less than, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how long that mandate would last as far as checking people's
vaccination
status.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't see In-N-Out totally moving out of California. I don't see that because it's like the biggest, burger joint there.
You got to look at it. The biggest, Florida, California, New York. I dare say I'll be, I'm a Floridian, so I would dare say I can't see much competition with us. We neck and neck. So we don't have the Lakers, obviously. We don't have, but we've got the Heat. We've got Miami. We've got our beaches. So it's to me it wouldn't be a lose. I mean, California be losing, but I think In-N-Out would bounce back if they came to Florida.
Yeah, we'll see. So, but that's what I want to share with you. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll keep a close tab on it as well. And the last thing I want to mention is we have a person in Jackson County that just turned 100 years old, and that's Felix Long Sr. He turned 100 on November the 8th. And Byron, you can show that photo. Yeah. There you go. There he is.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, November the 8th. The Jackson County Board of County Commissioners acknowledged him at the meeting on Tuesday night. And basically, I think it was a good thing. I actually reached out to his daughter-in-law and just kind of wanted to see kind of what his take is on longevity, being 100. And this is what he told me. He said, this is what she told me. He said, when asked about some of his life gems, he said, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. He also believes that we should show compassion and give a hand up, but never look for a hand out. So his health tips are this. He includes snacking on fresh fruits and vegetables and drinking lots of water and taking his short walks around his yard. Says during the summer days, he can be seen sitting in his swing under the old magnolia tree while in deep thought. And during the winter months, you're more likely to find him sitting near his beloved fireplace watching old Westerns. And then when you asked him what's his secret to long life, he said, God's grace and mercy for showing him favor and longevity. They say he's a simple man with simple pleasures. Yeah.
He's cheating. He's not giving us the seeds. Hey, I'm trying to take the notes. Some vegetables.
Yeah, he said vegetables, fruit, and water, and walks, and walks.
Y'all better take these notes.
I know. But he did say, he said, the secret is, God's grace and mercy, and showing him favor, and basically his family. So he's just a simple man with simple pleasure. So look at those photos, and I think that's great. I just makes my heart just kind of flutter when I see someone making it to 100 years old, because there's so much going on now, Byron, that's taking people out. So when you see this, you gotta say, hey, look at this. This is a great example. Again, he turned 100 on November the 8th, and that was the Reverend Felix Long Sr. That's who he is. So, and that's it for the local, state, and news coverage. This has been brought to you by Brightway Insurance. They are located at 2867 Caledonia Street in Marianna. Again, contact TD Horn and his staff at 850-633-3460 and get you some insurance, whether it's life insurance, property insurance, business insurance. They have it all. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. and Saturdays only by appointment. Okay, but check out TD and his staff at Brightway Insurance. What you have for national news?
Okay, so for national, before I begin, People's Funeral Home, because we care, we're here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home, Marianna and Battle Mortuary, Panama City, offers services that is within the reach of all. Our caring staff is available 24/7 when the need arises. The services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a suitable price for all. Give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233 or simply stop by for more information. That's People's Funeral Home. Before I begin, we had the Marine Corps birthday. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Shouts out all my Marine brothers and sisters out there. Happy birthday, happy belated birthday. Marine Corps birthday is always better than your own birthday. Hey, Charlie Company and 8 Tanks, everybody, loving being a tanker, loving do what I do. So shouts out, happy birthday. And then the next day, Veterans Day. So shouts out to the United States Army and everybody, the Coast Guard, the Air Force, the Marines, the Navy, National Guard, the Reserves, everybody. So shouts out to all my Army brothers and sisters out there. Hey, we do it up. And thank you everybody for your service from every war, every battle. It is because of what we do. I know a lot of us, we lose those out there, and we have our feelings as military servicemen and women. But a good friend of mine that passed not too long ago, he told me something. He said, you know what, I hear you guys talk about stuff like that all the time, but you served. And I thank you, man. So thanks, everybody.
Awesome. We appreciate all the veterans, Byron, for giving their service to our country. And so can't go without saying, we appreciate you and everybody that have just put their lives on the line for us to have freedom. So we really are grateful for you guys. So happy Veterans Day, even though it was yesterday.
Thank you. So my first story, attorney for a man who was paralyzed at the Travis Scott show shows the tragedy at Astroworld wasn't a surprise. So if those don't know the story behind rapper Travis Scott, he had this big festival, promoting his album Astroworld in Houston, Texas, and it was extremely a lot of people, but 8 people were confirmed that died, ranging from ages 14 to 27. In this story brought to us by BuzzFeed, the attorney of this man who was paralyzed after falling during a Travis Scott show in 2017 said that the deaths from that festival were just the latest instance of Scott encouraging chaos at his performances. His song lyrics encourage violence and injury at his concerts, attorney Howard Hershenhorn told BuzzFeed News, pointing in a particular to Scott's song Stargazing. So in the point that he makes, and it's a very good point, that Travis Scott, in his years of shows and performing, this is kind of his modus operandi. Yeah, and being in the I'll say this, being in the criminal justice field, people tend to follow a pattern, whether it gets worse or it stays the same. It typically follows a pattern. So for instance, in 2015, Travis Scott was arrested within minutes of starting his set at the Lollapalooza in Chicago after telling fans to climb over security barricades. He later pled guilty to reckless conduct. In 2017, he was accused of inciting a riot at a performance in Arkansas, in which he allegedly again encouraged people to push past security. So multiple people were injured, and Scott ultimately pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct. So it looks like this is something that he does. Now, I will say this from a being an anti-terrorism officer and being involved in the physical security and things of that such, and doing events, security, in my opinion, is, and your crowd control is like your most vital. I mean, it's the most important part. Because you never know in parking, but you never know which direction people will go. So you want to make sure you're heavily staffed up to be able to deal with that situation. Now, when you promote, you know exactly the type of size of a crowd that you're anticipating, and looks like to me the account of the piece got thrown way out of the mix. I mean, you don't have any type of threat assessment. Anytime you do an event like that, there's going to be a threat assessment. So basically, you're going to say, okay, how many people do you anticipate? You look at the artist, you look at their style of music, you look at the type of crowd that's going to come, and you're gonna have as many staff people there for that type of event. He didn't have anything.
Too many people, Byron. I saw the photos.
He didn't have anything.
Way too many people. Way too many people. Yeah.
Which throws me into the other story where a man that was hired to actually do security, he said that it was severely understaffed, and he walked away from it. He said, I'm not going to do it. The gentleman's name was Darius Williams, and he was hired to be an event staff and security for the festival, and he was basically honest. He said it was pretty vague exactly what their roles would be, and then when he looked at it, he was like, it would be one person per 500 to 1,000 people. So it looks like to me he set himself up. He wanted this to be, that's kind of how his mantra or his style is, to have these mosh pits and have people kind of going crazy, running over the stage and trampling over things, and it flipped. I mean, we've seen concerts with Michael Jackson, Diana Ross. They've had huge concerts where people pass out. You never heard about somebody dying, let alone 8 people.
But he promoted that type of, I mean, I didn't know, but until this all happened, and you read, and like that was his thing. Like, you haven't been to a concert unless you passed out, or it's just like he promoted that kind of stuff. Like, that's not cool. I mean, no. Yeah, so that's not cool.
I think it would be to me, I think it's going to be more legal civil cases and things like that come out from this. Whether or not he bounced back, whether or not it's the promoters and to include himself that succumbs to this, I don't know, but it's definitely going to be more people come out. But in that, in that story, this gentleman was saying, hey, he saw it coming because he experienced the same thing, and hopefully, my thoughts and prayers go out to the victims, to the families of those victims. And you go to a show and you shouldn't lose your 14-year-old or your child, or people getting injured and stuff like that. That shouldn't happen. So,
but who else is going to be liable to? Live Nation. They were the promoters.
Yeah. I mean, once again, because kind of how his shows go. It would be one thing if he promoted his shows that way, but he was like crazy had every police department, fire department, every 3-4 security companies, and if he was heavily staffed, that'd be one thing. But you promoted it that way, your style, your everything is one way, and then you don't even have enough people out there to secure the place. It spells for proper planning permits that type of performance, so it end up happening. You get what you set up for. So, and my next story, it was a video that went viral. I think I saw it on Instagram, but it was an Amazon driver. I'll show it to you real quick. It was an Amazon driver who was fired after this video of a woman leaving his van went viral, and he speaks out. And the video has now been viewed 11.6 million times, showing this woman wearing a black dress, no shoes, being let out the back of the van. The delivery driver was fired, and Amazon released a statement to TMZ. He said that Amazon said that this does not reflect the high standards we have for our delivery service partners, and their drivers. Now the man who has lost his job has spoken out. He said that, you know, I think his name was Taiwan George. George was asked multiple times by a reporter what he and the woman were doing in the back of the van. He just laughed and claimed that he was simply doing his job of delivering packages. He said that she was a friend, and he said that I honestly felt like losing my job was the most that they could do to me. There was no packages reported missing, nothing was reported stolen. It was just the incident went viral. He added that he suspected he was going to lose his job anyways once he realized the video had gone viral because Amazon is quote unquote strict. George added that, as he said that was a one-time incident. Honestly, I thought I did what any other man in America would do. It is what it is. So go ahead, man. Yeah. So go ahead. He said he did what anybody would have done, and hey, it is what it is. So but at the same note, Terry Crews, he faced backlash for involvement in an Amazon commercial. So Amazon basically flipped that into a positive to advertise, you know, for jobs. But it was earlier this week, the 53-year-old actor, we know him as Damon on Friday after next. He shared this 30-second video with his 20 million followers on a video shared on TikTok. I heard that Amazon was hiring a bajillion people and thought I'd take a look for myself, Crews says at the beginning of the ad. So in the video, Crews can be seen performing tasks and giving everybody an apparent inside look at what it is to work in an Amazon warehouse. And then towards the end, he reveals that Amazon employees are said to have the benefits like paid tuition and flexible hours. So many fans got mad at him because some people, you know, they're not pleased with Amazon. And, you know, a lot of them were saying, hey, he's wearing this, you know, watch that Amazon workers, you know, wouldn't be able to, it's like half of their salary and all that type of stuff. And I mean, I think they were kind of going in. Sometimes people just get a little too petty with stuff. Hey, you know, that's what celebrities do. They you know, they do ads, they get paid to do ads, and hey, what's the harm?
So Byron, let me understand. So you're saying that people are mad at Amazon because they fired the guy? Is that what it is?
No, they're mad at Terry Crews because he did the commercial.
I know, but why are they mad at him though for doing a commercial? Are they mad at Amazon?
That's what I don't get. So what it's saying, you know, some people are like, you know, I guess they're disgruntled employees or saying that Amazon is, you know, not a good employer. But you know, let's see, political commentator Hassan Piker posted the ad on Twitter accompanied by the caption, "This is a deranged man. I'll be honest, I didn't expect to see Terry Crews as a working class shield for $1 trillion plus Amazon." Another fan commented, track record with employee satisfaction. They wrote, "This is embarrassing as not some millionaire actor trying to promote and glorify manual labor. If you're going to do PR for a company with a horrible track record with employee satisfaction, this is the last thing you should do." So I think that's just kind of really trolling Terry Crews for no reason. I mean, yeah, I mean, he did an ad, you know, and they just giving him flack for it. I think they're going a little too hard on him. But so that was national news brought to you by People's Funeral Home. Because we care, we are here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home, Mariana and Battle Mortuary, Panama City, offers services that is within the reach of all. Their caring staff is available 24/7 when the need arises, and the services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a price suitable for all. Give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233 or simply stop by for more information. That's People's Funeral Home.
Okay, and we'll move on to our sports. We have Mariana High School will be playing tonight in Baldwin, Florida. And last week they beat North Bay Haven 20-0, so they just shut them out. So that's how they were able to advance. So we'll keep an eye on that. But that game is tonight at 5:30. And then tomorrow we have Sneed's in the semifinal championship, the state finals. So they will actually play this school. I never heard of this school either, but the school is called Dixie. You heard of that?
Nope.
No?
Dixie either.
So Sneads will be on their quest to another championship. They play tomorrow at 2 p.m. in Sneads. And if they win that game, they will be headed to the championship for 1A volleyball in Fort Myers. So we'll keep our eye on that. But they are definitely, looking pretty good. That school is actually, Byron, is in Cross City, Florida. Dixie is. Dixie, so still don't know where it is, but
still no taking no bells there.
Yeah, but Sneads volleyball, I mean, they're kind of like, I guess, in 9th year straight, I think, just really going for it, even though this year was a little tough for them. But they still made it, and I we'll see how they do tomorrow against Dixie. So that's the volleyball game in Jackson County in Snead. So be sure to check that out if you can. That's at 2 o'clock. And then we will switch to college football. I think Bluntstown is in the playoffs as well, Byron. Okay. I think they are too. So I have to follow up with that. But then for your college football action tomorrow, we do have some games. We have some Florida State and Miami play in Tallahassee tomorrow at 2:30 ESPN. That was a crazy time when it was wide right, wide left, right.
I take not so much pride in losing those wide lefts and wide rights. And my brother and my cousins, they always, they Miami fans, so they got something to say all the time. So we this is gonna be one of them. We not at the top like we once were, but it's still gonna be a good game, I believe. It's gonna be a good
it's a rivalry game, so it'll still be a good game. So that game again is tomorrow at 2:30, and that will be on ESPN. And then you will have Boston College is at Georgia Tech at 2:30 p.m. Also, but that's on ESPN 3. Alabama plays host to New Mexico State. That's at 11 a.m. on SEC Network. And then Mississippi State is at Auburn at 11 a.m. on ESPN. Georgia is at Tennessee at 2:30 p.m. on CBS. And then Florida plays host to Samford. That game is at 11 a.m. on SEC. And then Jackson State is at Southern at 6 o'clock on ESPN 3. Now, Dion is out of the hospital. I don't know if anybody knew that, but he was in the hospital. He had complications after he had surgery on his foot. And we don't know what the complications are. They have not been stated. However, he did recently, I think it was Wednesday, he did get out of the hospital. He tweeted and said that he was, recovering well. So he has missed, I think, 2 weeks from being on the sidelines. But Jackson State, won both games. So that was pretty good. They were able to win without him. There also some talk about, him interviewing for that TCU. Did you hear that?
No,
it was they're talking about it, that he possibly could be, interviewed or in the number or so that was talked this week as well. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. But the good news is he is out of the hospital and he's mending and he should be back on the sideline. Now, Jackson State, like I mentioned, do play Southern in Southern. So at Southern, but I don't know if he's going to make that game or not. But that game is at 6 o'clock on ESPN 3 tomorrow. And then FAMU is at Arkansas Pine Bluff, and that game is at 2 o'clock on ESPN Plus. So that's your college football action. And then I'm going to move on to some NFL. We had some eventful.
The top 10. We get the top 10.
Oh yeah, let me get the top 10. Yeah. Oh, before I mention the top 10, let me mention that we do have Travis Russ. So make sure you check him out at Marion Toyota. Yeah, he can find any car that you need. They are located at 2961 Penn Avenue, and you can call him at 850-209-7051. And that again is Travis Russ at Marion Toyota. So number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Oregon. Number 4, Ohio State. Number 5, Cincinnati. Number 6, Michigan. Number 7, Michigan State. Number 8, Oklahoma. Number 9, Notre Dame. And then number 10, Oklahoma State. So that is your top 10 in the AP poll. Okay. Again, y'all check out Travis Russ. So let's move on to some NFL, and many people probably have, watched this or kind of heard about this, but the guy that was driving so fast that he ended up killing a young lady and her dog. That was Henry Ruggs. You heard about that?
Yeah. Tell me more about it. I heard about the crash. Did they find him?
Unfortunately, he was arrested. Henry Suggs. I said Ruggs. Henry Suggs. He was speeding. They say he was going about 156 miles per hour. And then he and his girlfriend was in the car with him. And unfortunately, there was some alcohol involved. I think he was, alcohol. Yeah. But he was going 156 miles per hour and just ran smack in the back of this young lady and her dog. And it seems like the car just kind of exploded from what the reports say. And they both died, the young lady and the dog. So he's facing like felony charges, for that fatal car crash. And he's in some serious trouble. I mean, he Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah. It really is. They're charging him with DUI, reckless driving, in addition to the other charges, because he killed somebody. It just
I mean, I'm not trying to give him out by any means, but 157 miles an hour. I'm questioning whether or not you was on some suicidal, liquor. I mean, alcohol will do a lot, but 156, that's
pretty fast. Yeah.
I'll test one out just like anybody, but 156 on a regular road and you're not on a track. Yeah, that's you know.
Well, it said it was more than his alcohol level was more than twice the actual Nevada's legal limit. So
that is.
He had been at a Top Golf location drinking, and then he went to a friend's house, and then he drove home, and then of course that's when he just was, it was just sad, just very, very sad. He went to Alabama.
Yeah,
I know that. Yeah.
He
but on the same day of the crash, the Las Vegas Raiders, they did release him, so he is without a team. So he's, like I said, he's in some serious trouble. I don't know what this young man was thinking. And he's young. He was just drafted in the 2020 NFL draft, so he's not that old. So I don't know, like I said, what was going through his mind that day. So, but anyway, we'll keep our eye on that. Henry Suggs, that is. Then the next thing is what you and I have talked about before, Aaron Rodgers. Basically lying about his vaccination status, but he used the term immunization. So
and then nobody asked him, was he immunized?
He was trying to use those terms interchangeably on a slick way. Yeah. So I think the story is when they asked him, was he vaccinated, he said he was immunized. Right. So that's not the same thing, right?
Yeah. That's just one of them things. We had this saying growing up, you ain't got to lie.
Just tell the truth.
You don't have to sit up there and lie. And then to quote Dr. King, that's what got me. I'm like, look, man, y'all got to stop with that. Don't try to quote that, and you misquoting anyways, and you not stop. Don't do that. Own it. You lied. You not vaccinated, and you got other players that pretty much fell on the sword of trying to stick by not being vaccinated, etc. I mean, look at Cam Newton. He went ahead and got vaccinated. He still ain't got a job yet, and Aaron Rodgers out here playing games. So he. Like I said, if you're gonna do something, own up to it and just say, yeah, I'm not vaccinated. But to get up there and lie, then try to flip it and say that he didn't lie, dude. They clearly asked you, were you vaccinated?
Well, let me read how he phrased it. He said, this is something he said the other day. I made some comments that people might have felt were misleading, and to anybody who felt misled by those comments, I take full responsibility for those comments. He said, I understand that this I understand that this issue is, in general, is very charging to a lot of people because we are talking about public health. I totally respect that. I made a decision that was in the best interest based on consulting with my doctors. And I understand that not everybody is going to understand that necessarily, but I respect everybody's opinion.
Isn't that so political?
Yeah.
He's paving the way for his, he's paving his way for retirement. That's so politician like. Yeah. So, but anyway, so that's that. So that's all my sports. I'll toss it over to you for entertainment. What you got? So entertainment. Speaking of entertainment, 2Egg TV. 2Egg TV is an off-beaten path streaming travel channel. Dale Cox and the 2Egg TV team take you on a digital adventure in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama with travel features and documentaries. You can watch 2Egg TV on YouTube, Roku, and 2eggtv.com. That's 2eggtv.com. So real quick, I'm going to go into it's some drama going on at Howard University, Roni. So,
really?
Yeah, they got it going. So we will not leave until our demands are met. This is the inside of Howard University's protests. Red, white, and blue tents filled with student protesters, sit perched outside of Howard University's Armour J. Blackburn Center for almost a month now. These demonstrators have gathered, bringing attention to concerns about health and safety of those living on the campus. So in a nutshell, they're complaining of, there's mold and bad living conditions in the dormitory.
Wow.
Dormitories there. So there's a back and forth. So the Live movement is one of the organizations that are kind of heading us up. National Student Coalition for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. They became determined to ensure administrators were aware of students' discontent. But they have met with the university's president, board members, etc. Where it looks like where the rift lies is even in those couple of meetings, they're not happy with what the university and the board of trustees have basically given them. Now, what the actual conversations were about, they haven't put that information out. But basically, the university is saying, hey, we've met with them. What they're putting out is what the students and Live movement is putting out is not true, is disinformation. And they just basically aren't happy with the answer that they gave them. And when you go into further, some of the points that the university is making is they're saying, well, hey, a lot of this, bad living condition, the mold and things of that such, because the students ain't cleaning up. They being nasty.
They being nasty. That's what
but students are like, hey, we want this, we want that. So they're the students are basically they're protesting and that's their right, and they're sticking to their guns. And so the administration say, hey, y'all gonna have to give us time. Some of the stuff is on your end, but political and civil rights leaders such as Jesse Jackson, Cory Booker, Ayanna Pressley have each gone inside to speak with the protesters. Jackson even hosted a town hall for parents, faculty, and students to attend to gain clarity. But this support has bolstered the confidence and commitment of those that is involved. So wow. They're back and forth. Hopefully they reach a point where they get somewhere that they've made meetings with the parents and of these students and things like that. But they're basically sticking with it, saying we will not leave until our demands are met. But this kind of helps me, segue into my next story, because Felicia Rashad, she's facing backlash for the comments she made about Howard's the protest. So this video, I'm gonna show it real quick and basically give some context on the back end. So just watch real quick. This is the video.
In any country, when the students don't speak out, the nation is not doing well. When the students do speak out, and they have been heard, and the concerns have been addressed, and it's still not enough, what about that? Oh, well, that's a whole nother thing. That's what's going on now. So are the concerns being addressed? No. Okay, let's come inside. Let's go.
Okay, so after watching that, she's basically saying, over this past weekend, Debbie Allen, which is her sister, they show up. Allen appeared to be speaking with students, and it looks like you can't really tell if they're being rhetorical and in like their acting, or if it's actually a little difference between opinions between Debbie Allen and Felicia Rashad. But she appeared to be speaking with the students and who were protesting the poor housing conditions. After spending that time, she met up with her sister, and that's when the reporter stepped up and basically Debbie Allen was saying that in a country when students don't speak out, the nation is doing well. When students do speak out, they have been heard and their concerns have been addressed. Is that still not enough? What about that? So that's where Felicia Rashad was coming from. So basically, she's taking the position of the faculty and the administrators. Like, if we meet with you and that's still not good enough, then what do you do? So the bottom line is, students are, you got those that are upset with Felicia Rashad, but looks like over the time when she got caught up in, her statements about Bill Cosby, now she's supporting the institution. So we'll see where it goes. Hopefully those students will get that housing and things situated and get it corrected, and all wells end well. But I hope Howard gets it together and they'll reach some type of solution.
Me too. I hope so. That's kind of surprising to hear about Howard. I didn't have any idea that was going on. So yeah. I hope they get it together. Yeah.
So that's my entertainment. Speaking of entertainment, 2EGG TV. 2EGG TV is an off beaten path streaming travel channel. Dale Cox and the 2EGG TV team take you on digital adventures in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama with travel features and documentaries. So you can watch 2EGG TV on YouTube, Roku, and 2EGGTV.com. That's 2EGG TV.
Okay, we'll switch to our relationship tea segment. And that topic today is, how much alone time do you and your significant other need? So Byron, I'm going to propose that question to you. How much time do you and your wife need alone?
So I'm so glad that you had brought that question to me. Being a husband and a father with 5 kids, we got 2 sets of twins, and they're all essentially around the same age. I tell people all the time, it's easy to find somebody to watch 1, even 2, but 5, that's a hard thing to do. So we struggle with trying to get that me time, but it's so needed. And we want to do us our own 3-4 trip time, a date night, but it is so needed, and it's so essential to the health and the strength of a strong relationship. So you definitely need that one-on-one time, because and people that got kids, they know eventually you run out of stuff to talk about, and all you talk about is your kids. And you tend to lose who you are and your relationship, and what got you, that courtship has always got to stay going to keep that relationship healthy. And so you need that time. So sometimes, hey, mama gonna be mad at me, or daddy gonna be mad at me because I'm gonna ditch. I'm gonna ditch, and just deal with it afterwards, but we, and that's why it's good if you can to, try to get you some support groups, trying to, watch your friends' kids, and then, hey, you got me next time, so that you can get that time. But that's something that we struggle with, and we try to, just get us some me time. But it is, to me personally, for us, it's so needed. And for big families, you got to get that away time. But just like us, when we away, if we get a day or 2 away, shoot, by that second day, all we talking about is them kids. I wonder what they're doing. And we ready to go back home. So as much as we want to get away, we want to get back to. So
it is important. I mean, it like you said, it's critical to the strength and the foundation of the relationship, and what you do to get to the point of marriage, the courtship, the relationship, the friendship. You have to keep that after you get married, because some people kind of, think it changes. No, what you do to get there, you have to continue it once you get there.
I'm gonna tell you something. True players know.
Yeah,
hey, that one game, that line, that smoothness that you had to get one.
Yeah,
hey, you got to come with 1,000 to keep. So you
do.
It might work. It might work to get a different woman every time you running the same line. But when you got one, you got to get real creative. And so that creativity is only going to come with that time that you spend with each other.
But that's why you have to keep dating. I mean, even after you get married, like we try to have date night every so often. Even if sometimes we'll just go outside and sit by the pool. Mm-hmm. And that's our, we'll just have that alone time, if we don't go out or go to dinner or whatever, or go for a drive sometimes, but, just to have that alone time. And it's important because you kind of, with the hustle and bustle of, you're working or like you said, kids, and we have a teenager, so she has to be here, has to be there. And a lot of times, you just kind of get thrown and you're passing each other. You're not, really talking. If you're talking about household stuff or kid stuff, like you mentioned, not about, you two or what you guys, used to talk about or do together. So it's very important. I encourage every couple to continue to have that date night, that alone time. And it doesn't have to be, on a set schedule, because we don't have one. We just kind of like whenever we can, hey, let's have date night, this coming Saturday or this coming Tuesday night, let's go sit by the pool or something, let's just watch TV together, just something, because you're right. You can get lost in the shuffle, and it can be, have a negative effect on your relationship. So you just want to, so the answer to that question is you need a lot, as much as you can get. I mean, I do, you want to invest that time in your relationship, because that's how it's going to stay afloat, and that's how it's going to stay in a good place. So you want to make sure that you are putting forth the effort into doing that. So Byron, that's the answer to that question. A lot. Yeah. So all right, put that time in. So I think we're going to be up against the clock. Now let me look and see. Yep, we are. So Byron, let's wrap it up. We've had a great show today, and want to thank everyone for tuning in. And remember, you can always go back and watch any of the shows on Facebook or YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Everything is Bottom Line with Roni Byron, so you can find us easily. And so I want to make sure that you know that. So again, thank you for watching. And remember, when you know the truth, you can speak the truth, and the light shines brighter when it shines for two. We'll see you next week.